I keep giving bad people good ideas.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Killing Floor. It's low-key an old-ass game, but it's a fucking classic. And it is definitely, I feel like, a goated game. And a definitely really good game to have in your Steam library for, I feel like, for plenty of reasons, really. But we'll dive into those today. This is going to probably be like a 3 to 4 part series. Not where I'm only just talking about Killing Floor 1, but I'm going to be talking about the whole Killing Floor series and then wrapping it up with kind of an overall best Killing Floor. It's a little obvious, but I feel like each Killing Floor though has a charm. And again, the community and shit, they have their favorites, and I don't know, it's kind of obvious. Like, most people do play Killing Floor 2. Killing Floor 2 is a very solid and very good game, but that's not what today's video is about. And also, it just, yeah, no, I just kind of thought it would be a good little series, and then instead of just trying to throw everything in one video, either having that video being hella long, missing points, this at least allows me to go into each game a little in depth and then have a kind of overall like review at the end, I guess. But either way, today's video we're gonna be talking about Killing Floor 1, like I was saying. And with Killing Floor 1, I think it kind of takes the cake almost visually over all the games. And it's really hard to say that at the same time because the game came out in 2009, I'm pretty sure. If I would check the Steam page right now. Yeah, 2009. That's when Killing Floor 1 came out. Honestly, you could run this game on a fucking potato. As like, you know, Killing Floor 3 came out like last year. It's a way more, I would say, visually polished game. But with Killing Floor 1, the aesthetic of the graphics, of how grainy it looks, of almost kind of like, you know, back in 2009, they couldn't make everything so photorealistic, that it almost kind of looks better than Killing Floor 2 and 3. And I'll kind of get into that. So I feel like Killing Floor really capitalized on, you know, the gore and the grainy aspects of this game. And I don't know why, but Killing Floor 1 takes the cake on that, and it's a forced fucking project. And, again, usually, like, with the forced project, I feel like, no, not always the worst, but, you know, they're not always the best, because, again, those stuff that they either were limited on, either stuff they didn't fix, whatever the fuck. And Killing Floor 2 is almost like a polished Killing Floor 1. But the one thing that sucks with Killing Floor 2, that you still get a little bit of it, but I feel like just over time of developers wanting the game to look more clear or more better, which again, I'm not complaining about. I like a game that looks good. I don't want to play a game that looks like dog shit. But again, somehow with Killing Floor 1, with the graphics being limited to like what we had with engines in 2009 and shit, it's obviously not going to be the most graphic fucking crazy game ever. But for some reason, it is one of the most visually pleasing games I have played, if that makes sense. Like, again, I'm not going to go into it and think it's like Skyrim remastered and it's just so beautiful and those sunsets and all those lens flares. It's not really like that, but if you're trying to play Killing Floor and you're trying to get that gory, that grainy, that like fuck what the bottom of the bottom, like I don't know, Killing Floor kind of has this dreadful feeling because you're fighting the Zeds and shit that can become overwhelming. If you want that like feeling, Killing Floor 1, I don't know why, but fucking takes the cake on it over all the games, I'm not gonna lie. Having that like, I feel like being a little kid, at least, try and explain what I'm saying. If I was a little kid playing Killing Floor 3, I would be a little scared, but not really. I'd be like, oh, this is really bloody. Oh, it's kind of cool. Killing Floor 2, maybe a little bit more nervous, a little bit more shaked in my boots, but still the same reaction I would have to Killing Floor 3, thinking it's just kind of a cool little shooter-up gory game. But Killing Floor 1, I'm not saying it would like keep me up at night, but it would definitely spook me a little bit more. I feel like it kind of has that more like spooky vibe to it. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. And the specs to run this, like I said, you could run it on a fucking potato. You minimum Windows XP or Vista or in Windows 11. So, buddy, you're good. A 1.2 gigahertz or equivalent processor, 1 gigabyte of RAM, 64 megabytes of DX compliant graphics card. I don't even know. That's really old specs before my time. Either way, every graphics card nowadays can outperform that easily. 2 gigabytes of free hard drive space. I think the game's more like 6 gigabytes, but still, it doesn't take that long to download, doesn't take that much space. Again, the more recommended specs is like a 2.4 gigahertz processor with like a 129 megabyte graphics card. Again, if you want to go more into the nitty gritty of specs and all this, you can and go ahead. But theoretically, any computer, I swear to God, you could go to Best Buy, buy a laptop for school, not even a gaming laptop, it's just for like going on Microsoft Word, like an office laptop, and it probably can run Killing Floor. And that just kind of because technology's gotten better and stuff like that. And kind of going kind of away from the visual aspects of the game of me glazing the fuck out of it because somehow they made a game that's supposed to kind of look like dog doo-doo actually look good. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like when rappers or like music artists will distort a song and you think distorting the song will make the song sound shittier, but somehow it makes it sound better, and then you're like, oh shit, like I see what they're doing. And it's almost like kind of one of those situations, I feel like. But kind of talking more about the gameplay and stuff, I would say gameplay-wise, it's fun. I like it. There are a few things I don't really like about it, and I feel like they did fixing like Killing Floor 2 and 3. So say, for instance, if you die, you don't really get any like extra money at the end of the round. So if you die in the beginning of the round, say you only make like $200 and you only have a pistol, you're going to round 3, round 4, whatever, with only a pistol and $200. So you're kind of fucked. And also, yeah, no, theoretically, just kind of that. And then also, I noticed with sorting guns, especially like the SMG and shit, and I don't know if this is again a thing where I just gotta play a bit more and get my perks again upgraded, which is probably a perk thing and shit. But some of the weapon handling on some of the guns is actually fucking horrendous. Like I even if I need a special perk to hold the gun better or aim the gun, it's like almost fucked. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes it's like if you do play Killing Floor, you're aimed down with the SMG and you're spraying, or you're spraying with the flamethrower and shit. And I don't even know how really a flamethrower has recoil. I don't know. I never shot one. I guess they kinda do and shit. But either way, the recoil is fucked in this game. You think most games where you have a little bit of recoil and then you're a little off and that's annoying. This is like, it's almost like a guy drank fucking vodka and was like, oh, let's go kill some zombies. And then, like, you're aiming down the gun and your guy's, like, blacked out drunk to waving that bitch like it's fucking nothing. And you're like, how am I gonna fucking hit shit? But either way, again, the game's still playable and those still are all pretty decent guns. And with the guns, god damn it, I fucking hated my phone. I kind of fucked that recording, but I'm gonna just leave it in, fuck it. But, pretty much with, like, damn, that really threw me off. Fuck. But with, everything, like, with the game and shit, I do feel like it is one of those more solid games where it's like the gameplay is there. Like I said, the recoil is a little bit fucked, but you could probably get perks or use different guns. Holy fuck, who the fuck's spamming me? Like Google, Gmail, I don't give a fuck. Or it's like some text thing. I have some shit going on little today, and it's like, I fucking hate it. It's like everything's little side tangent. Everything's fucking AI. All these appointments are AI. You tell them like, okay, I'm gonna show up, and they still send you a fucking text. Are you coming? Dumbasses. I would have set the appointment. I would have like, I guess it's like reminders and shit. And I'm just kind of going off board, but it's fucking annoying. Okay, back to the video, but pretty much like I was saying, with the gameplay and shit, and besides the little shitty recoil, and you could probably get some perks and stuff, kind of level that out a bit. The game is really solid, and I feel like it's one of those games where it's good to have in your Steam library, even if you have like the craziest and most demanding, like, you know, have the craziest parts and the most expensive system. It's still a fun game to play. But then also, why I like having this game is, say you're stuck on like limited hardware, or if that's just because your system breaks and you're trying to wait till you save up to fix parts, or you're waiting for parts to come in the mail, you're stuck on a shittier system, you're stuck on a laptop, say you're traveling. This game's perfect because it doesn't take up a lot of space, it's not that demanding, and it's entertaining as fuck. And with it not being that demanding, not taking up that much space, and still being entertaining as fuck, somehow the game doesn't look like total dog shit either, so you will have a good experience too. And the game runs really well too. And yeah, no, overall, I really have not that many complaints about Killing Floor 1 besides the fucking recoil. Whoever designed that shit, fuck you. I swear to God, they were like, oh, let's just make it while they're drunk and they're holding a gun. Like, fuck me. I'm gonna drink some water. My throat's a little dry. But, yeah, no, I feel like Killing Floor is definitely a great cop. Especially, I feel like as we're moving into having more, like, I don't know, though, like, the Switch piece, though, like, the Nintendo Switch, but though the PC version, or a handheld PC, whatever you want to call them, as we're moving more towards handhelds and shit, and we all know, like, the more space the game takes up, kind of shittier, but also the more demanding the game is, graphic-wise, gameplay-wise, whatever, that's gonna drain the battery more. And it just makes sense, you know, common sense, whatever. As I feel like with the game of Killing Floor, you might not have your handheld last forever, but I feel like compared to playing a game like Killing Floor 2 or Killing Floor 3 on your handheld, playing Killing Floor 1, since it, you know, takes up less space, it's kind of nice, you could throw on more games. Then number 2, it's less demanding, so again, it's not gonna drain your fucking battery as quick as games like Killing Floor 3 and shit, which again, it makes sense because the game was made in 2009, the graphics and shit aren't that crazy, whatever, common sense. But again, overall, at the end of the day, I do feel like Killing Floor is 100% worth checking out. Normally, it is about $20. If you don't want to wait, I would say it is worth the $20. But I also would say it is kind of worth waiting till like a Steam sale goes on, or like a summer sale, or if Killing Floor themselves end up doing a sale. Because again, you could get the game for 90% off, like right now till May 25th. It's kind of too late, as like it's like fucking the 20th, as I'm probably going to be uploading this. I don't know. But either way, sometimes the point I'm trying to make is sometimes you could get the game for 90% off. So instead of paying $20, you could get the game for $2. And again, I feel like the game's worth $20. But again, when you can get the game for $2, I would say it's almost worth waiting. Or just wait until you could get the game for maybe a little bit more and you spend like $14, $25. You get all the DLCs and all the extra shit with the game. I think actually, yeah, no, those like a franchise bundle, but the Killing Floor like complete set, instead of paying $60, you could pay $14, and that gives you all the like DLCs and all that shit. So again, at the end of the day, I do feel like it is worth paying full price because it is a good game. But then on the flip side, it is a game that came out almost like 20 years ago, and if you could get the game for $2, it's probably best to just wait. But if you don't want to wait and you just want to hop in, it definitely is worth the money. But at the end of the day, like I said, and I keep saying, you could save like $18 if you just wait a little bit. But the overall point, this game's worth getting, this game's worth checking out, and I feel like you guys would have a great fucking time if you never played this game before. But besides that, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. And I don't know if exactly the next video will be talking about Killing Floor 2 or just be playing a game or doing a different kind of video. But I'll be trying to do a Killing Floor 2 and 3 review very soon. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, bye guys.